Every hero has a dark side, but can the X-Men survive genes? Take a look at the Dark Phoenix.
Something's happened to me. Something I can't stop.
On June 7,
It scares me. It feels good.
the X-Men's final battle will be their greatest.
We're the only chance you have.
Are you threatening me? Because that would be a bad idea.
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
And to tell us more about this movie and how it fits into the X-Men movie history, we're joined by pop culture professor and my hubby, Dr. Mike Robinson. And
Hello.
thanks again for hanging out with me.
Of course.
I make them.
Yeah. No, I love to talk X-Men.
Right,
No, this
exactly.
is, for people my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older, this is sort of the most important comic book story that there was. So it's a very, very exciting nostalgic experience from that regard. What came to be known as the Dark Phoenix Saga, which is Uncanny X-Men 129 to 138 officially, is often regarded as one of the single best comic book stories ever done, and is certainly probably the best that's ever been done in a mainstream story. And it is so classically X-Men. It starts a little bit early in the 100s, right? 101 with Jean Grey getting these incredible powers. And by the end of the story, it's all it's classic X-Men. It's all this wrought emotion as Jean has to deal with the corrupting influences of absolute power. And of course, there's great fights and there's exciting action, but there's also all of this sort of romance and struggle for this person to be saved that the X-Men really, really love. So it really is sort of like, if you had to pick the best thing ever in comics, that might be what I pick. It just really is amazing stuff. So as a fan, you really get excited that something you loved is coming to the screen. And what's really interesting about all of this is that this is our last non-Disney X-Men movie. We don't know what happens after this, right?
Interesting.
So the Fox rights, now that Disney has acquired Fox Entertainment, the rights have returned. We don't know if these actors will continue on with these characters somehow into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have no idea. There was some talk that this movie might not even happen or be released for a while, but obviously once they put all that money into it, they're clearly going to do it. So that's very exciting. It's the 20th, technically, I mean not quite, but almost the 20th year of X-Men, right?
Wow.
We forget, we're so excited about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we get so worked up about everything that's happened since Iron Man, that we kind of forget that it was the X-Men movie in the year 2000 that really kickstarted this whole incredible superhero genre thing that's been running for all this time.
But I have to say, I kind of
Yes.
like the B Team, even though there was a great cast back then. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
Michael Fassbender. I love some of
yeah.
the stars in this version. And then, of course, we have Jean Grey, who's different now, and she is also on Game of Thrones. if
That's
you
true.
happen to
Very well.
notice.
Yeah, that's right. Sophie Turner. What they've done with the X-Men movies is, and it's so typically X-Men, is they've messed with the timeline, and so we have different actors portraying some of the characters that we know, and so this is their chance to do it again, and they get to do it before they go out the door.
Right, and like you said, a new timeline, and this may be one of those ultimate stories where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all that just happened.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about, and that's what makes the X-Men so great. A lot of people forget that there was a time when nobody cared about the X-Men. This is what made people care about the X-Men. This is what made that comic book the way it is. When people get really excited about it and they talk about it, this is what caused it to happen. So we cross our fingers as fans again, and we hope that a lot of the stuff that we enjoyed make it into this movie, and then who knows what happens. The next time we see these guys, they could be hanging out with the Avengers. We don't know.
Right, and Disney will have their hands in them.
They will, as they acquire all things.
So go out and see it, right?
Yes, I'll be there.
Okay. And we'll be right back.